Hi veggie lovers, I'm Amelia.
And I'm JP.
And we're Vegans Abroad.
And our umbrella is blowing away again. Hola.
Hola.
Today we wanted to talk about the difference between being vegan and eating a plant-based diet.
Yes.
There's been several people who've come out recently, Rawvana, Raw Alignment, who else? Tim Sheaf, Bonnie Rebecca, also eating raw diets. And they've come out and said they're no longer vegan, when in reality they were never vegan. They ate an extreme version of a plant-based diet that happened to be vegan, but that didn't make them vegan.
Exactly.
So we wanted to kind of talk about the difference between the vegan ideology compared to a plant-based diet to help maybe reduce some confusion about this.
Exactly. But before we do, we want to take a moment and let you guys know that JP, not me, but JP also writes a blog, and he includes a lot more information and other photos. So if you want to check that out, get some more detail on some of our adventures, please go check out our website, vegansabroad.com. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that bell. And then you'll get notified on our upcoming videos.
Yep. All right, let's just go ahead and dive right in.
Okay.
Shall we?
We shall. I think the first thing we should do, JP, is define
veganism.
What veganism actually is.
Yeah, a lot of people like to try and redefine what veganism means, and usually non-vegans do this, because vegans know what the definition is. And I'm going to read it exactly, word for word. This definition has been around for 40 years, and it states that veganism is a way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, and any other purpose. Notice nowhere in there does it have the word perfect.
Wow.
We are not.
JP is obviously very passionate about this.
I am, because a lot of people say, well, if you can't be perfect, then why try? You know, if a field mouse gets killed while you're harvesting grain, then you might as well just kill pigs too. I mean, that's
not the same.
It's not the same thing. And there are ways to actually minimize the deaths of field animals and other animals during harvesting. It costs more money, so most factory farms don't employ those methods. A lot of organic farms actually do. So there are ways to minimize the impact that we humans have in our farming process, but in no way is accidentally killing a field mouse the same as intentionally raising a pig or a cow or chicken to be slaughtered, you know, after a very short period of their life.
Right, and after their horrible suffering.
And yeah, exactly. And it's also, you know, we just do the best we can.
Exactly.
We're not perfect. We're the first ones to tell you we're not perfect.
No,
we try really hard, but it's impossible to be perfect in a world that's built around animal exploitation. It's just impossible. But we do our best, and the easiest thing you can do is just not eat animals.
Exactly.
Because that makes a huge difference in the animals' lives and the environment and your own health and
exactly. Yes.
So that's what veganism is. Veganism is an ideology. It's not a diet, although veganism has a diet component.
Yes, but boy, you talk to the hardcore vegans, believe it or not, we're actually not hardcore.
We're not hardcore.
Vegans. The hardcore vegans get really angry if you even talk about the food component at all. But I think that that's a really important part, because like you said, JP, that's one of the easiest things that people can do is to cut out animal products. And that's what a plant-based diet is. So we eat a plant-based diet, or a whole food plant-based diet.
We eat a whole food plant-based diet.
And that means that we don't consume any animal products. Now, I think technically a plant-based diet can include a little bit under 10% of animal products.
Well, yeah, a whole food plant-based diet, based on T. Colin Campbell's definition of it, is that they encourage no more than 10% of calories from animal products. So it's not a vegan diet.
Right, it's not. And that's where there's a lot of confusion that comes into play. And the truth is that, and we'll explain this in more detail, you can eat all sorts of diets and they can be vegan, and it can be something that's like drinking pop and eating nothing but potato chips.
Yeah, and Oreo cookies.
Right.
All those are vegan.
Yeah. That's not healthy. I wouldn't recommend that. To me, that is an extreme diet.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's the thing, there's so many different types of plant-based diets, and we wanted to talk a little bit about that range.
Right.
Because a lot of these people, you'll notice, that have been coming out that are saying they're not vegan anymore, they don't have vegan in their YouTube channel or their blogs or their products. They just say like raw foods, raw vegan, raw till 4. There's a lot of raw out there in these people who are no longer vegan, because it's really, really hard to live on a raw diet and get enough calories to sustain yourself over the long term. And that's what we're seeing now is these people, they've been eating a raw food diet for several years, and it's taking a toll on their bodies, and they're not eating enough calories.
Well, and I think that for some of them, it's not even that they're eating just a raw diet, because you probably could, you could just eat a lot more food. You have to eat a lot of food if you're going to eat a raw diet. But they do all these weird, crazy things. So this one woman decided, she said she had been eating a raw vegan diet for 6 weeks. Whoops.
Storing umbrella.
And then she was feeling better and had all this energy, blah, blah, blah. So she decided to do a water fast for like a month.
25-day water fast. This is Rawvana that we're talking about, the most recent one.
First of all, I can't imagine why anybody would want to do that unless there was something really seriously wrong with you and your doctor told you can't have truly anything to eat or can't consume anything but water. To me, that seems very dangerous. And she ended up getting sick, so...
Yeah, over time.
Yeah.
And this other guy, Tim Sheaf, drank his own urine for 2 years.
That's disgusting.
These are not vegan issues. This has nothing to do with veganism. Veganism is not about drinking your own urine. God. And these people, they go out there on YouTube and they have 500,000 or 1 million followers, and they go spout this train wreck philosophy that has nothing to do with veganism, and then they make our movement to actually improve the lives of animals, ourselves, and the environment look stupid.
Right. Yeah, we don't do any of that stuff. If you guys have watched any of our videos, we eat a lot of food.
We do.
We eat dessert. We cook our food.
We drink wine and beer on occasion.
We do. I drink coffee. JP drinks coffee. I like my chocolate.
Yep.
We try to eliminate oil, but we are not so anal that we cannot have a meal with oil.
Yep.
We eat a balanced diet, and that's what this a true whole food plant-based diet is, a well-balanced diet which incorporates a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, of grains, legumes,
nuts and seeds.
Nuts and seeds, thank you. I knew I was forgetting something.
And mushrooms.
Yes. And then, honestly, I started to say all of that, and then I remember how you always tell me I'm acting like Forrest Gump, so I had to stop myself.
Forrest Gump.
Brat.
All right, so there is a difference. We eat kind of the healthy side of the whole food, of the plant-based diet. And this is a diet, it's not a fad diet. It's been around for decades.
Right.
The term was coined in the early 80s by Dr. T. Colin Campbell. And what we eat is, like Amelia said, we eat a lot of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and mushrooms. We're not raw. We don't just eat foods that we don't have to cook. We cook our beans and our rice, and we cook things.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically what we eat is the Mediterranean diet, if you've ever heard of that one. Yes. Everybody has. We eat the Mediterranean diet without the animals.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's been proven time and time again to be one of the healthiest diets out there.
It is. And it's healthy despite the animal products, not because of the animal products.
Right.
And we just choose to cut out the sources of cholesterol and saturated fat. We basically eat a Mediterranean diet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we love it. And we've also chosen to cut out the oil because oil is a processed refined fat, just like sugar is a processed refined carb. And it has a lot more calories, more than twice the calories for the same amount. So we choose not to eat the oil as well. But again, that's not why the Mediterranean diet is healthy. It's healthy because of all of the plants, focus of it.
Exactly.
So the way we eat isn't a fad diet promoted by one doctor who's trying to sell books and supplements and programs. The whole food plant-based diet is promoted by dozens, probably hundreds of doctors and scientists who've been studying this for decades and who have been treating their patients with diet rather than medication. And let's list off. Who can you think of?
I could think of Campbell, obviously, Esselstyn, Dr. Ornish, Dr. Garth Davis,
Dr.
Greger, Dr. Pam Popper,
Dr. Kim Allen. He used to be the head of the American Cardiology Association. Who else? There's so many. Dr. Furman, Dr. McDougall.
Oh gosh, how could I forget McDougall? He's the potato king.
I know. So this isn't, all of these guys, they may disagree a little bit on like specifics, like some of them say salt is okay, others say not, some say oil is okay, others say not, but on the big foundational issues, they all agree, eat plants, not animals.
Exactly.
And that's what that's the diet that we follow. It's backed by decades of legitimate science, not funded by dairy and beef and the egg industry that keep pumping out junk science to confuse us. We look at the real science, and the funding source does matter. If you think it doesn't, I encourage you to read Unsavory Truth by Dr. Marion Nestle. It just came out. It's a great book, and I'll link that in the description so you can go read it. If you think that the funding source has nothing to do with the outcome of a study, you're very, very naive. It does.
I have a feeling that this video is going to contain lots of links.
Yeah, lots of links and probably lots of angry comments.
Oh, I hope not. I mean, we're passionate about it, but it's frustrating. Just like any diet, right? I don't care. Veganism aside, any extreme diet is dangerous, and you see weight loss in the short term and not in the long term, and that's what you have to keep in mind, is that you want to, this is your body, you need to be careful with it and treat it with respect.
Like Goji Man says, it's the only place you have to live.
Exactly.
It is.
So if you do all these crazy dieting and yo-yo dieting and water fast and juice fast and the cabbage soup diet, and then you go on the keto diet, which means you eat fat on top of fat on top of fat, I mean, that's not good for your body long term, and you don't end up losing weight and keeping it off long term. And I think that's the thing that really has made this so much easier for us and kind of surprised us a little bit, is that we've lost weight over the last couple years. And then once we lose that weight, it doesn't come back.
Yeah,
I mean, we have to really work hard at it. Now, granted, if we ate nothing but junk food and did, you know, I guess just laid on the couch.
If we ate out all the time, it would come back.
And ate potato chips and cookies all day long, then of course we're going to gain weight. It's still the amount of calories you consume, but the bottom line is it's an easy way to maintain a really healthy weight, keep your energy up, and eat a lot of variety of fruits and vegetables and have fun in the process. And I say have fun because we enjoy all the foods that we eat. We never feel deprived.
No.
Especially when there's places here in Cuenca that offer vegan desserts, so we can go and get ice cream and cake and cookies. I can make it at home. It's awesome.
I used to be really picky too. I used to not eat vegetables. Green beans and peas were about the extent of it. I would eat broccoli and cauliflower if it was drenched in cheese, melted cheese. That was about it for as far as vegetables go for me. I wasn't a vegetable eater. I didn't like them. I used to call myself a meatitarian. This was long before the carnivore diet ever existed. And if anybody made a comment about where meat comes from or the animals, I would say, I don't eat animals. My meat comes from styrofoam and cellophane. And I used to pride myself on saying those stupid, asinine comments. And that's what they were, stupid. But I said them, and I swear, if I can go vegan, anybody can. Because I hated vegetables. Now I love them. The longer we ate this way, the more things I would introduce, and I started liking more things.
Yeah, I was actually extremely happy because I never liked cooking any meat, and I just wasn't good at it. So I always made the vegetables for us, and I always liked beans. But then he came along. It's like, I don't like peppers, I don't like onions, I don't like cucumbers, I don't like beans, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. I'm like, oh my dear Lord, what are we gonna eat? And so when he said, I came home one day and JP says, I'm vegan. I
said, I'm ready to go vegan. Do you want to do it with me?
And I said, yeah, I could. Well, we're gonna have to start eating beans. Yeah. And then we started reintroducing all these foods, and JP was surprised at how much he started to like everything.
Another aspect of this, being vegan and whole food plant-based, is that it's not a yo-yo diet. So our ideology keeps us from going back and eating those high-calorie, high-fat, high-cholesterol foods that were making us sick. So we have the ideology behind our diet, so that we're not tempted. And we've had people say, oh, let's live a little bit. One bite isn't going to hurt. Well, it's not food to us anymore. That one bite is not food. It's cruel and it's gross.
Yeah, it's not. So when we say we eat a whole food plant-based diet, this is our lifestyle. It's not a diet to us. This is the way we live. So
we're vegan for the animals and the environment, and we eat a whole food plant-based diet for our health.
Exactly. Well said.
Because we want to be healthy representatives of veganism, because a lot of people have this belief that vegans are unhealthy. We're either fat or skinny. I'd like to know how that can be the same at two things at once.
Well, that's easy. Either you eat nothing but vegan junk food, or you just eat nothing but water.
Water. Yeah. So,
and an occasional, like, strawberry or something, a carrot stick.
Yeah. So I was chatting on Twitter with the guy from England, and he said that they don't have the health obstacle there, that people accept being vegan as healthy or a healthier way, or it can be healthy. But in the U.S., we still have the belief system that if you don't eat meat at every meal, and some, or two kinds of meat and dairy, that you're going to be unhealthy, and that people believe that in the States adamantly.
That's how we were raised.
We were raised that.
Yeah.
I was raised in a small Kansas farm town, and I was taught at school, church, and at home that if I didn't eat meat, dairy, and eggs, I would literally die. I'm not kidding you. I'm not exaggerating, and I mean literally die. And my family still thinks I'm crazy, and they probably still think I'm going to die from not eating those products that are literally killing people.
And it is kind of crazy.
I know, it is. But in the other countries, like Ecuador, we've told you before that in Ecuador, the perception is that the way we eat is extremely healthy, and that they want to migrate toward our diet.
Right.
It's not that they don't think we're unhealthy or sickly vegans. They think that this diet is healthy. And
because
it is. It is. Yeah, I know. Everyone accepts a Mediterranean diet as healthy. That's what we eat.
Exactly.
Without animals. Okay, just to reiterate, being vegan, that's an ideology. It's a belief system. Eating a plant-based diet is a diet. There can be overlap, but you can eat a plant-based diet and not be vegan, as we've seen with some of the people who've come out recently.
Exactly. As you can tell, we're very passionate about this,
we are.
Especially this one here.
I just get frustrated.
He does. He gets frustrated. Well, and this has made a huge impact on our lives, especially the health aspect. Well, the whole aspect. I can't say just the health aspect. JP is actually going to talk more in detail about his health and why we decided to go whole food plant-based in the first place in a future video. We hope you found this informational, maybe give you a little more insight in why we live our lives the way we do. As you can tell, we're pretty happy. We think we're normal.
I don't know about that.
You may not think we're normal. We think we're normal.
Yep.
But feel free to comment. We'd love to hear what your thoughts on this subject. Please, everyone, keep things civil. We know we have differences of opinions, but we don't have to be nasty.
Nope, we don't. Be nice. That's all we
nice.
ask, is just be nice. And also, if you share health-related information, please link your sources, and just know if it's from the beef industry or the egg industry or the dairy industry, I'm probably going to discount it. And if you want to know why, go read Unsavory Truth.
And on that note,
please remember to subscribe and ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
So we'll be back to our normal kind of adventure videos soon.
Well, we have a lot of adventures coming up for sure.
We do. And also remember to check out the blogs on all of our videos.
Oh, yes. All right. Muchas gracias.
Ciao. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.